Lay. What's up? Yeah. Yeah.
Kane is in the building, nigga.
Alright, already the show goes on all night. Till the morning we dream so long. Anybody?
Good morning. Welcome to DGEM News Channel 165. Today we'll be broadcasting a special program investigating and providing updates on Tourette's syndrome. We will provide this information through a brief biochemistry, a real-life family pedigree, an interview with an affected citizen, and more. A condition enduring which tics and involuntary muscular movements occur with regularity, concomitant with inappropriate vocal exclamations displayed by a person, is due to a form of neurological dysfunction known as Tourette's syndrome. Some of the other physical manifestations of the disorder include the sudden shouting out of obscene words by the person, the sudden activity of stamping the feet, the shaking of the head or flapping the arms violently, and even jerking or shrugging the shoulders repeatedly without any cause. The expected lifespan for people suffering from Tourette's syndrome is normal, and the condition is not lethal. It usually begins between the ages of 2 and 16. This hereditary disorder affects more males compared to females and has a strong presence in affected families, usually being passed on from one generation to the next. The twitching of the eyes and other muscular tics developed during early childhood are not severe. However, these progress gradually to major physical symptoms like the shrugging of the shoulders and the stamping of the feet and become more complex as the person ages. Involuntary noises and vocal exclamations like grunts and barks accompany the muscular tics. Words may also be uttered totally unconnected to anything the individual may be involved in. The physical and especially the social stigma and problem of the syndrome are enormous, even when the non-lethality of Tourette's syndrome is taken into consideration. This severe social handicap precludes an affected individual from participating normally in many day-to-day activities, and especially in severe cases, may not even allow a person to hold jobs or mix socially. A hyperactive tendency is also evident in all individuals affected by the syndrome. The dysfunction of neurotransmitters and other biochemical conditions in the brain are suspected to have something to do with the disorder. However, the underlying causes of the syndrome are still a mystery, though genetic causes are implicated in its manifestation in affected individuals, and the cause is definitely biochemical in origin. Certain researchers of Tourette's syndrome had mooted attention relieving mechanism of the body of biochemical and psychological origin. These suggest that the involuntary movements are really manifestations of nervous compensation mechanisms in the body. This may be partly true and is evident that the sufferer often experiences no symptoms during sleep, and the symptoms in themselves are greatly heightened under conditions of anxiety, nervousness, and stress. When we return, Gina Young will give details on a family pedigree involving Tourette's. We will now go to Morgan Bibb for the sports story.
Thanks, Des. We now turn to the world of action sports, which requires extreme focus and athleticism. One freestyle motocross athlete has recently been in the spotlight, not only by winning many of the contest he enters, but also because he suffers from Tourette's syndrome. Jeremy Stenberg, known by many as Twitch because of his condition, has been riding dirt bikes since he was 2. At age 5, he was diagnosed with Tourette's syndrome. This did not hold him back from dreaming of stardom in the FMX world. He kept on working towards his dream, which came true at age 16 when he became a pro. Twitch has helped spread awareness about Tourette's by appearing on the popular MTV show True Life. He was featured on the I Have Tourette's episode, which is why he may look familiar to some of you. He continues to be an inspiration for those who look up to him. At a recent contest,
I've met a lot of kids who have Tourette's, and I feel like it has held them back. I'm out there just to let them know you can do whatever you want to do. You don't have to let Tourette's get in your way.
Jeremy Twitch Stenberg continues to be an inspiration for those diagnosed with Tourette's syndrome by showing that anything can be dreamed. Back to you, Gina and Des.
This pedigree shown displays how Tourette's syndrome has descended through 3 generations. John over here was a carrier, but no obvious symptoms were evident. However, he was an alcoholic, which may have decreased his symptoms. His daughter, Jen, ended up being a mild carrier of Tourette's. One of her symptoms was washing her hands excessively. And now her son, Brent, has Tourette's syndrome. He often runs into trouble at school because his tic is blurting out words randomly. And now to Christy for her interview with Fergie.
Good day, and I am here interviewing with Fergie. Good morning, Fergie. Thank you for meeting with us today.
Oh, no problem. As long as I can spread the word and at least help one person living with Tourette's, I'm more than willing to talk.
Well, can you just tell us a little about what it's like to be a mom to a child with Tourette's?
Well, it's definitely not easy, especially before we knew Jimmy had Tourette's. Neither me nor my husband knew we were carriers for the gene. When we first found out, I wanted to blame myself for giving him this, but the doctors told me that wasn't healthy and we needed to focus our positive energy on Jimmy. But I will say it's hard sometimes when I'm cranky and tired and Jimmy needs my attention. His twitches, I have to remember, aren't his fault. It's just what happens.
How did you all find out about Jimmy's Tourette's?
Well, we always knew Jimmy was a little off. Growing up, he had random outbursts or things he had to touch or hold at certain times, but we didn't know it was the Tourette's just yet. When he was in 2nd grade, though, his teacher called us in for a meeting regarding student behavior. And we always thought, oh, this is just going to be another call in to get yelled at, but it turns out it wasn't. My husband and I, like I said, just thought it was going to be another one of those horrible things, but it was also so much more than just a simple behavioral problem. His teacher was specialized in special ed and recognized the symptoms. She told us she had also done some extra research and suggested that we look into the fact that Jimmy had Tourette's. Well, long story short, we got Jimmy tested and it turned out he did have Tourette's. We are forever grateful to his teacher.
But we can only thank teachers across America who know their stuff. What's the day-to-day activity like?
Well, it's definitely crazy. Jimmy gets up and he gets ready, but in and amongst his getting ready for things, he'll twitch or yell or burst out, and when we're in public and I'm grocery shopping and I feel bad because I don't really make it at home, but he'll just scream and just shout, and people around me look at me and I have to apologize, but why should I have to apologize? I mean, he's my kid, he has Tourette's, but other people don't know that. So the day-to-day activities are definitely hard. We have to basically, when we found out Jimmy had Tourette's, we had to refocus all of our thinking around how to deal with Jimmy and his Tourette's.
Is there anything else you want to inform the audience about someone else dealing with Tourette's?
Tourette's is not something that you can control. It's not something that's your fault. You have to be patient and just give your time with people with Tourette's. It's not they don't mean to do the things that they do, and they honestly can't control it. So all I can say is for all you mothers, parents, godparents, grandparents, friends, just give them some time and I guarantee it'll be okay.
Thank you, Fergie, for your time. And now back to you, Desiree.
Now that's all we have on Tourette's Syndrome today. Thanks for watching. I'm Gina, and this is Desiree on GGEM 165.
This year's remix got some phonics. I got hot, I got fucking electronic beats. I got hip hop music with the future flow. So come on, red, even if the sky is falling.
Hey, welcome to the First Floor Lounge. We converted it into a news station. But since it's not anymore, we're going to put the trash can back as so. And we can let the light in. Oops. And now, today we can expect to end digging. Probably the well for Lost Well. What's that? Wayland. And I'm trying to figure out how to Washington Post and this thing.
Disorder affects more males compared to females and has a strong. Stop the thing.
This part. Jeremy?
Connected to anything the syndrome. Oh, dang it! Stop.
Is there anything you want to inform the audience about someone else dealing with?
Des, that's your.
You shook your head. Cut.